Just wanted to do a little disclaimer before we start the video, and that's just, this video is mostly meant for friends and family. However, if you are a young kid trying to figure out what college you want to go to, or just in that kind of time period of your life, I give a little bit of advice at the end as to what helped me, and I hope that will help you a little bit too. But for all my friends and family out there, I can't wait to go to college, and here's a little story. Also, one last little disclaimer before we get into the video is that during the time I filmed it, I was a little bit ill, so sorry if I sounded a bit tired, but yeah, let's just get into it. Hello, welcome to my Where I'm Going to College video. I applied to a lot of schools. As you can see, it was a pretty tough decision in the end, but I figured it out, and I'm here to tell you that story. Alright, so it all started in September, and I thought I knew exactly where I wanted to go because San Diego State, right here, is where my sister goes, and when I toured there, I absolutely loved the campus, and so I thought it could be the place. However, once I started getting deep into the college search, I found myself looking at a ton of different schools, and I became really curious as to what else was out there. And knowing myself, I'm a very, very indecisive person, so I applied to a lot of different places, as you can see. So I'm just going to go down the line here and kind of talk about why I applied to each of these schools, and I'll kind of pick and choose and show you like the first round picks and then kind of go from there. So we'll start on this side. So NYU, I kind of applied there. I went through their first round of applications, but I never actually finished. Nice job, Mads. I did that with a couple of these schools that you'll see. And I thought I would really like the idea of going to a big city, somewhere like NYU that's super global. I was really interested in international studies and relations, and so I looked at NYU for a little bit. I never ended up finishing my application, however, because I just decided that I didn't really like how they had no sports teams, and they were more of like a very businessy school, and I wanted something a little bit more related to college, if that makes any sense. And not that NYU isn't that kind of a school, but it just wasn't what I was looking for, so that was out of the bag. Then I applied to University of Texas, which is far different than NYU, as you can see. I was really interested in their journalism program, their radio and television program, but ended up not really liking Austin too much as my dad visited there. And so I didn't get accepted into school. I was rejected. However, I did get into their PACE program, I believe, and so I would have to go to a community college for 1 year and then transfer. And UT was actually one of my top choices for a while because of the prestigiousness of it, and I really liked the idea that they had some big sports teams. And so I looked there for a while, but I decided that I wouldn't want to follow through with the PACE program. It just seemed to be a little bit of a hassle, and I didn't really want to do that, so Texas was out. Oh yeah, and before I continue, I guess I should kind of backtrack and explain, like what I was looking for in a college. What I wanted was a school that had pretty good spirit, had an interesting location, lots of things to do around there, and if not an interesting location, a really cool college town that I could explore. Also a place with lots of diversity where I could meet new people, and then somewhere with good academic programs. And I would dare say that all of the schools I did apply to had pretty good academic programs in general, and so I think I made a good decision in the end. So let's continue. So then I looked at University of Arizona. Arizona, I liked how it was a warm location. That's another thing that was kind of on my list. I wanted to go to somewhere warm, but as you can see here, I chose a lot of drastically different schools because I kind of like the medieval architecture and a lot of the cooler places. I don't know. I was interested in them for various reasons, but Arizona specifically I liked because it was warm, and I liked how they were a Pac-12 school on the West Coast, but also they have some really, really cool architecture there. And I liked that they had a good journalism program, which is sort of my major focus right now that I'm interested in, but I might change. I don't really know. But you'll see what happens. So, yeah, Arizona, that was one I was considering quite a lot. So I'll keep that in the running for now. And so next, the University of Missouri. Mizzou, I was kind of adamant against going to for a while, and then I was really researching their programs, and I liked how they had a fashion merchandising school, and I also have one of the best, I think, if not the first, it's the second best in the country for journalism. And so I applied there and got in, and I liked the idea of it, so keep her in the running. Alright, so Oregon State I applied to on a whim. I wanted to have an option that was close to my home, which is in Washington State, but I also liked the idea that it was kind of far out in Oregon. However, I live close to Portland, and so it was just too close, and it didn't have the prestige that I wanted in a university. I know that's not a super big deal for some people, but I just wanted a school that was a little bit more well-known for their academics. And so Oregon State was kind of out of the running. And then Santa Clara, I never finished applying to. However, I figured I'd put on here because I did do like the first round of applications. In Santa Clara, I liked the campus. It seemed really pretty, had a good program for like communications, and it was in California. But other than that, I decided that I wanted a bigger school, so Santa Clara out of the running as well. USC, I haven't heard back from yet, but I decided that I won't get financial aid, and so even if I did get accepted, it just wouldn't really be the perfect fit for me. And so I don't know what's going on here, but I decided that I was not going to attend USC. However, they're a really cool school. They've got an awesome location in LA, really good programs for what I was studying. I mean, you could see why I'd want to be a Trojan, but ultimately, I just figured that it wouldn't work out even if I did get in, which I haven't heard back yet. But alright, and so UW was a pretty big school that I was looking at because of how it's centrally located in Seattle, and I live pretty close to Seattle. I live about 2-3 hours, and so the location was pretty nice. But I ultimately decided that I wouldn't want to go to UW because I needed a new culture, I needed something different, and I would feel like I would be staying too close to home. So I decided UW was out of the running, but I did really like how they had some interesting architecture. So that was kind of the main reason why I liked UW. And I did not like the rain, so that was out of the weather. And also because it's a very big STEM-based school, and I'm going into more of a communications field, so I felt like it just wasn't the right one. And so San Diego State, my sister goes here. It would have the amenities of, you know, having my car, eventually getting the apartment, and also it's a very diverse school, and so I really liked those things about San Diego. Not to mention it's in an awesome location. And I also like how they had an interdisciplinary studies major, which basically means you can study 3 different majors and cut out the extra electives, which academically I really, really liked. So it also has amazing weather. And Syracuse is the next one. Syracuse I really, really was considering because it's a very diverse school. They have a lot of options for studying abroad, and again, a really good communications program. Not to mention their campus is stunning. And I haven't heard back from them yet. However, I ultimately decided that I'm not going to be attending here because it's very far away and expensive and in a different time zone. So I just, wasn't in the running anymore. And then Penn State, I really, really loved the idea of going to Penn State because my family has a lot of alumni who went to Penn State and they all loved it. And I really loved the deep tradition in that school. Same goes for Georgia. These are both very similar in a sense because Georgia and Penn State are very big, spirited schools with lots of fun football games, and I loved the idea of maybe going to, a school with really fun sports and in a college town and really the full college environment. And so that's why I ultimately applied to both of these schools, even though they're very far away. And the last one is, I believe this is Chapman. Yeah, and Chapman I applied to because I really, for a while, was interested in their radio and television and journalism as well. And they're a really good school for that. But I decided that 60% males and 40% females was not cutting it for me. I'm sorry, but it just wasn't enough kids, and I wanted some more guys at the school. That's a really dumb reason, wow. But yeah, oopsies. Okay, so that leaves me with Arizona, Mizzou, San Diego, Penn State, and Georgia. And so Arizona, I just decided that I didn't really want to go there because just academically it wasn't what I was looking for, and I kind of wanted something outside of Arizona. I don't know. I've never actually visited, but it just wasn't, I just didn't have that feeling about it, so cut that one out. And then I have not heard back from Georgia yet, but I decided that I didn't really want to go into the South. It's just not really my kind of environment. And so now, the final three, San Diego State, Mizzou, and Penn State. These are the three schools I was really torn up about. So I've got San Diego State, the University of Missouri, and Pennsylvania State. And so I'll just start with Mizzou. So Mizzou, I have no knowledge really about what I believe Columbia, Missouri is like. However, the school's academic programs that I was interested in really stood out to me, and I liked how they had a big Pac-10 school. For some reason, call me a little odd for this, but I just don't like the colors of yellow and black. And because the decision was so difficult between these three schools, I just decided I didn't want to go here because Mizzou isn't the best location. I didn't love the colors, and I just didn't have like a feeling about it. Sometimes you just know. And so that one was out of the running. So now I was left between Penn State, and San Diego State. And it was a very, very tough decision. I spent nights and nights thinking over this. I even cried a little bit. It was rough. And so I'll just kind of explain why these two schools were so hard for me to decide between. So first, San Diego State. If I went here, my sister and I would be living in California together, and as I want to study things revolving around media, LA is a great place to get connections in that kind of a field. The school itself is very diverse, and academically it's pretty good. And so I really liked the primal location, the academics, and what I could do specifically for media and stuff like that. And then I also really liked the weather, obviously. And so if I went here, I would have eventually an apartment. I would have home-cooked food and a car as well. So those are all really nice things. And not to mention, San Diego State would allow me to slowly assimilate into adulthood because it's in an area where you don't have to stay on campus all the time. It's not a college town, which I ended up really liking. And so Penn State, on the other hand, drastically different school. I kind of liked the idea of going to a college town, and at first I didn't know if it would be for me. As you can see, the reasons why San Diego State might be a better choice in terms of location, but I did really like their journalism and communications programs. The school is very well known, which I also liked. You know, it's got rich traditions, so, you know, people know what Penn State is. I also thought it might give me a really, really good college experience. They have tons of festivals and Greek life events and lots of different things that happen at the school that I thought were pretty interesting. And since it was so deep-rooted in my family, it was also kind of a place that would be symbolic if I went there. And ultimately, my decision was very difficult. So, which one did I choose? Yep. Next year, I'm going to be an Aztec with my sister down in San Diego. I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm really excited to soak up the sun rays and just see what life has to offer down there. Ultimately, it was a really tough decision, but I decided that the amenities of having eventually a car and an apartment and food would be really nice, and I liked the idea that going down to San Diego would give me a really good starting pathway for the career that I want to have. Also, San Diego State actually has some really, really good organizations and fun events like Penn State. I just did a little research and I found that they have tons of interesting things to do around the school, not to mention the ideal location. And so I can't wait to be there next year. thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking along this very long video of explaining where I chose to go to school and why. Can't wait to be down in California. I'll definitely film some fun stuff down there. And have a wonderful day. Good luck with your college decision. Also, I just want to say that ultimately, a lot of the reason why I chose San Diego is gut feeling. And I know that it's not the perfect school. No school is. But if you have a deep feeling about something, just go for it because you will never make the wrong decision. Just follow your heart. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.